Hello, all you film freaks and movie maniacs out there. My name is Nolan Carr, and I'd like to welcome you to the go-to podcast for all things cinema. But before you can ask any questions, just sit back, relax, as I present to you a Straw Lane Studio Productions Critiquing with Carr. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another great edition of the show here on Critiquing with Carr for Memorable Movie Monday. As always, if you've enjoyed these reviews up until now, do us a favor by subscribing on YouTube, following us on the audio platforms, clicking that thumbs up or like buttons so you can tell us you enjoy these episodes, turning on post notifications on those platforms so you can stay up to date when episodes release, as well as clicking that share out so you can continue to grow the podcast with their friends and family. Also, if you want other ways of staying up to date with the show, do us a favor by following us on Instagram at Critiquing with Carr. That's because on this week's edition of Memorable Movie Monday, I have the not so distinct pleasure of talking to you today about the not so classic film, Alien. And with that being said, let's begin. The director for this movie was Ridley Scott. The screenplay was written by Dan O'Bannon. The story was written by Dan O'Bannon and Ronald Shusett. The movie was produced by Gordon Carroll, David Giller, and Walter Hill. The cast for this movie is as follows: Tom Skerritt, Sigourney Weaver, Veronica Cartwright, Harry Dean Stanton, John Hurt, Ian Holm, and Yaphet Kotto. The cinematographer for this film was Derek Van Lint. The movie was edited by Terry Rawlings and Peter Weatherly. The musical score was done by Jerry Goldsmith. The production companies for this film were 20th Century Fox and Brandywine Productions. The film was also distributed by 20th Century Fox. It was released on May 25th of 1979 in the United States and on September 6th of 1979 in the United Kingdom. The runtime of the movie was 116 minutes. The budget for this movie was $11 million. And the box office total gross for this movie was $184.7 million US dollars. The accolades for this movie are as follows. At the Academy Awards, H.R. Geiger, Carlo Rambaldi, Brian Johnson, Nick Alder, and Dennis Ailing won for Best Visual Effects, and also Michael Seymour, Leslie Dilley, and Roger Christian were nominated for Best Production Design. At the Golden Globe Awards, Jerry Goldsmith was nominated for Best Original Score. At the BAFTA Awards, John Hurt was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, Sigourney Weaver for Most Outstanding Newcomer to a Film, Terry Rawlings for Best Editing, Derek Leather, Jim Shields, and Bill Rowe for Best Musical Score, Michael Seymour for Best Production Design, John Mallow for Best Costume Design, as well as Jerry Goldsmith for the Anthony Asquith Award for Film Music. And finally, last but certainly not least, at the San Sebastian Film Festival Awards, the movie won for Best Cinematographer and was nominated for the Golden Shell Award for Best Picture. And now it's come time for one of my two favorite parts, which is when I list off the top 10 highest grossing films for that year's release, being 1979's Alien. Coming in at number 10 on this list was The Muppet Movie. It was distributed by Associated Film Distribution. Its worldwide gross was $65.2 million. And it stars Jim Henson, Frank Oz, and Jerry Nelson. Coming in at number 9 was Amityville Horror. It was distributed by American International Pictures. Its worldwide gross was $86.4 million. And it stars James Brolin, Margot Kidder, and Rod Steiger. Coming in at number 8 was The Jerk. It was distributed by Universal Pictures. Its worldwide gross was $100 million. And it stars Steve Martin, Bernadette Peters, and Caitlin Adams. Coming in at number 7 was Apocalypse Now. It was distributed by United Artists. Its worldwide gross was $104.8 million. And it stars Marlon Brando, Robert Duvall, and Martin Sheen. Coming in at number 6 was 10. It was distributed by Warner Bros. Its worldwide gross was $107 million. And it stars Dudley Moore, Julie Andrews, and Bo Derek. Coming in at number 5 was Star Trek: The Motion Picture. It was distributed by Paramount Pictures. Its worldwide gross was $139 million. And it stars William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, and DeForest Kelley. Coming in at number 4 was Kramer vs. Kramer. It was distributed by Columbia Pictures. Its worldwide gross was $173 million. And it stars Dustin Hoffman, Meryl Streep, and Gene Alexander. Coming in at number 3 was Alien. It was distributed by 20th Century Fox. Its worldwide gross was $184.7 million. And it stars Tom Skerritt, Sigourney Weaver, and Veronica Cartwright. Coming in at number 2 on this list was Rocky II. It was distributed by United Artists. Its worldwide gross was $200.1 million. And it stars Sylvester Stallone, Talia Shire, and Burt Young. And finally, coming in at number 1 on this list for top 10 highest grossing films for 1979 was Moonraker. It was distributed by United Artists. Its worldwide gross was $210.3 million. And it stars Roger Moore, Louise Chills, and Michael Lonsdale. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, my review of 1979's Alien. Ridley Scott's Alien is often heralded as a landmark film in both the science fiction and horror genres. Released in 1979, the film boasts a talented cast, groundbreaking special effects, and a tense atmosphere. However, despite its acclaim, my viewing experience left me with mixed feelings. The film opens with a captivating score that is ominous, suspenseful, and inviting. The music immediately sets the tone, drawing the viewer into the eerie and isolated world of the spaceship Nostromo. This strong musical start promises a thrilling journey ahead, and in this regard, the film delivers an effective atmospheric setup. Ridley Scott's minimalist approach in the first 10 minutes of the film is an interesting choice. With sparse dialogue and a focus on the ship's hauntingly empty corridors, this beginning successfully builds intrigue. The slow, deliberate pacing invites the audience to pay close attention, setting the stage for the unfolding story. However, while this technique is intriguing, it also contributes to a slower, overall pace that some may find less engaging. Early on, Tom Skerritt's character, Harry Dean Stanton's character, and Ian Holmes' character stand out as particularly interesting. Their interactions and distinct personalities add depth to the ensemble cast, promising complex dynamics as the story progresses. Despite the strong introduction, the first hour of Alien feels slow and somewhat boring. The lack of action and the deliberate pacing can test the patience of viewers who prefer a quicker tempo. The turning point of the film is undoubtedly the chest burster scene, where the alien creature violently emerges from John Hurt's character. This moment is shocking and grotesque, immediately ramping up the tension. From this point, the film becomes more engaging, particularly when Harry Dean Stanton's character discovers the alien's shed skin, indicating that it's growing and becoming more dangerous. The alien creature itself is unsettling in every possible way. Its design is grotesque and off-putting, making it a truly memorable cinematic monster. However, its appearance is more disturbing than frightening, evoking discomfort rather than fear. While Alien is often classified as a horror film, it feels more like a thriller to me. The suspense is present, but the film lacks the scares I typically associate with the horror genre. Instead, the focus is on tension and psychological unease, which might not resonate with those expecting more traditional horror elements. The film's climax, involving Ripley's showdown with the alien, failed to deliver the intense finale I anticipated. The final confrontation on the Nostromo and the escape pod felt anticlimactic. The build-up to this moment was significant, but the resolution didn't match the suspense or excitement generated earlier in the film. As a result, the ending felt underwhelming, failing to fully capitalize on the tension built throughout the story. In conclusion, Alien is often lauded as one of the greatest films in science fiction and horror. However, my experience with it was a letdown. The film's slow pacing, minimal action, and lack of engaging characters hindered my enjoyment. While the alien design is unsettling, it did not translate into the fear I was expecting. The story's pacing was so slow that I found myself losing interest and having to rewind to catch up. Despite its critical acclaim and influence on the genre, I struggle to see why Alien is held in such high regard, which is why I can only rank this a measly 6 out of 10 on the Diamond Dave scale. With that being said, if you enjoyed this review today, do us a favor by subscribing on YouTube, following us on the audio platforms, clicking a thumbs up or like button so you can tell us you enjoy these episodes, turning on post notifications on those platforms so you know when new episodes release, as well as clicking at share out so you can continue to grow the podcast with all your friends and family. Also, if you want other ways of staying up to date with the show, do us a favor by following us on Instagram at Critiquing with Carr. And with that being said, my film freaks and cinephiles, happy viewing.